press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, so we were discussing about the tracing changes through 1,000 years. So we were knowing about what are the changes happened over a period of time, from time to time what type of changes happened. We have seen that a language also changed, a written manuscripts also changed, and also this period 700 to 1750, this period is famous for the political, cultural, social and the economical changes as well, because at this period so many new developments happened, new foods arrived, new group of people moved. So the mobility period, this is also known as the mobility period, and also there were famous politically important people, that is the Rajputs, Marathas, Jats and the etc. Ahoms as well. Okay, next, throughout this period there was a gradual clearing of forests and the extension of agriculture, a change faster and more complete in some areas than in others. So in this period we have seen already so many changes. With that, there was a clearing of forest, and converting that forest area into agriculture area, that also happened. Next, changes in their habitat forced many forest dwellers to migrate. So the clearing of forest happened and the forest has been cut. So the people who were living in a forest, that is forest dwellers, they were forced to migrate. At this time forests were cleared to use that land to agriculture purpose. That's why the forest dwellers, the people who lived in a forest, they were forced to migrate to a different places. Then others started tilling the land and became peasants. So some of the people, they migrated and some of them started to till the land and they became a farmers or a peasants. These new peasant groups gradually began to be influenced by regional markets, chieftains, priests and the monasteries and the temples. So some of them have moved and some of them have become a farmers, and gradually those farmers, they were influenced by the temples, monasteries and the other type of people. Next, they became a part of large complex societies and were required to pay taxes and offer goods and services, and were services to a local lords. So in this period clearing of forest happened. That is why the forest dwellers, some of the forest dwellers, they were forced to migrate. So they moved, and some of the forest dwellers, what they did, they cleared the forest itself and they started to do the agriculture there. After some times, those people also were influenced by the other social caste system in that region, and slowly they were involved in a larger society and they were also made to pay land rent or land rent to a landlords or a taxes to a rural landlords. Okay. Next, local lords. For the local lords, they were also made to pay the taxes. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಈ 700 ಮತ್ತು 1750 ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ನ್ಯೂ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು, ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಜನಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ನ ಕಡಿತಾ ಹೋದರು, ಕಡಿದು ಆ ಜಾಗನ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದರು. ಹೀಗಾದಾಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಆ ಜಾಗದಿಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂತು. ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅವರು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಹೀಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಟೆಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರೀಸ್ಟು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅದರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರದು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇವ್ರ ಮೇಲಾಗಿ ಈ ಪೀಪಲ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಥರ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರಾ? ಆ ಒಂದು ಊರಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಆ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟೋ ಥರ ಆಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, as a result, significant economic and the social differences emerged among the peasants. Some possessed more productive land, others also kept the cattle, and some combined artisans work with the agriculture activity during the lean season. As society became more differentiated, people were grouped into jatis or a subcaste and ranked on the basis of their background and their occupations. Ranks were not fixed permanently. They varied according to the power, influence and the resources controlled by a member of a jati. The status of the same jati could vary from area to area. So what happened? Those forest dwellers, they were also involved in a larger society, and they were also made to pay the land rent to a, that is taxes to a local lords. After some times, the differentiation in the caste system which was based on a occupation means the one who followed the smaller occupations and who had smaller resources, they were treated as a lower jatis, and one who had the bigger occupation, they were treated as a bigger jatis. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಂದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ವೆಲ್ಲರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮನೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಮೈಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂತು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವರು ಆ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಯಿತು, ಅವರು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಯಿತು. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಆರ್ಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ಮನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ, ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂದರು. ಈ ಥರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು ವರ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತು, ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಜಾತಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇವ್ರ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಜಾತಿನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರೊಂದು ಜಾತಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ಮನ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರೊಂದು ಜಾತಿ, ಈ ಥರ ಆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಜಾತೀಸ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. Those regulations were enforced by an assembly of elders, described in some areas as the Jati Panchayat. But Jatis were also required to follow the rules of their villages. Several villages were governed by a chieftain. Together, they were only one small unit of a state. So what happened? Gradually, Jati system has started, and people started some of the rules to follow in their jatis, and they formed a Jati Panchayat. Some of the elder members, they framed a rules to follow, and they also followed a village rules as well. Okay, ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಜಾತೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಜಾತಿ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವು ತುಂಬ ದಿನಗಳ ತನಕ ಒಂದೇ ಜಾತಿ ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಜಾತಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಅವ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಜಾತಿ, ಈ ಥರ ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು, ಈ ಜಾತಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಾತಿ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ನ ಅವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಜಾತಿ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ದೇ ಆ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ರೂಲ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. So these are all the changes happened in a 700 to 7050 time. Okay, now region and the empire. Now we are going to see about the region and the empire. Large states like those of the Cholas, Tughlaqs, Mughals encompassed many regions. A Sanskrit Prashasti praising the Delhi Sultan Ghayasuddin Balban explained that he was the ruler of a vast empire that stretched from a Bengal in east to a Ghazni in Afghanistan in the west and included all of the South India. People of different regions, Gauda, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat apparently fled before his armies. Historians regard these as exaggerated claims of a conquest. At the same time, they try to understand why rulers kept claiming to have control over different parts of the subcontinent. By 700, many regions already possessed distinct geographical dimensions and their own language and the cultural characters. You will learn more about these. They were also associated with the specific ruling dynasties. There were a considerable conflict between the states. Occasionally, dynasties like the Cholas, Khaljis, Tughlaqs, Mughals were able to build an empire that was a pan-regional spanning diverse regions. Not all these empires were equally stable or successful. Okay. When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it led to the re-emergence of regional states, but years of imperial pan-regional rule had altered the character of regions across most of the subcontinent. The regions were left with the legacies of a big and a small state and had ruled over them. Okay. This was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions. In the realms of governance, the management of the economy, allied cultures and the languages through 1,000 years between 700 to 750, characters of the different regions did not grow in isolation. These regions felt the impact of a larger pan-regional forces of integration without ever quite losing their distinctiveness. So what happened at this time, that is 700 to 1750, at that period there were changes taking place at one side, and there were also a emergence of empires and the rulers as well, like the Tughlaqs, Mughals, Cholas, Khaljis. So all these were involving themselves in emerging their empire. So some of them tried to build a pan, that is all over the region empires as well. So all of them started to do that kind of building the empires. And after the decline of the Mughal empire, that was taken by other rest empires. So this is about what they are telling. In that period, 700 to 1050 period, people, that is rulers, they started to build the empires as well. So changes were taking at one place and these rulers were also emerging at another place. So, and they were the rulers at that period. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ ರೂಲರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ನ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಯಾವ್ಯಾರು ಮೊಘಲ್ಸು, ತೊಗಲಕ್ಸು, ಚೋಳಾಸು, ಕಲ್ಜೀಸು, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ರೂಲರ್ಸ್ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಮತ್ತು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಒಂದು ಮೊಘಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಉಳಿದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜರು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಒಂದು ಆ ಥರ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಆ ಸೆಂಚುರಿಲಿ. Old and the new religions. 1,000 years of history that we are exploring witnessed major developments in the religious traditions. People's belief in divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Collective belief in a supernatural agency, religion was often closely connected with the social and the economic organization of local communities. As the social worlds of these groups altered, so too did their beliefs. What happened after that? People started to believe in God, At some point of time it was a personal belief, and after that it became a collective belief. They started to believe a supernaturals. According to their world, they started to believe in things. Okay. It was during the period that important changes occurred in what we call Hindustan today. So at this period important changes occurred. These included the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by a royalty, and the growing importance of Brahmins and the priest as a dominant group in a society. Next ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಅವರು ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಪೀಪಲ್. ಅದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗೋಯಿತು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲು ಒಂದು ಗಾಡನ್ನು ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಈ ಥರ ಅದು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗೋಯಿತು. ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸ್ ಎಮರ್ಜ್ ಆದರು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಎಮರ್ಜ್ ಆದರು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೈಯರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ನ್ Brahmins lot of respect in the society. So the Brahmins, they had a knowledge of Sanskrit. Because of that they earned a lot of respect in the society. The dominant position was consolidated by a support of their patrons. Patrons means an influential wealthy individual who supports another person, an artist, a craft person, a learned man or a noble. So what happened, the dominant position was consolidated by a support of their patrons, new rulers searching for a prestige. So Brahmins had a Sanskrit knowledge, so they were treated as a great persons at that time, and their dominance has grown because of it has become much higher because of the help of patrons. Patrons means the richest person who support them. One of the major development of this period was the emergence of idea of bhakti, of loving a personal deity that devotees could reach without the aid of priest and the elaborate rituals. Okay. ಸೊ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಈ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಜನಗಳು ಭಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಎವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಫಸ್ಟು ಅದು ಪೂಜೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಒಂದು ಗಾಡನ್ನು ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಈ ಥರ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸು, ಪ್ರೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೈಯರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೈಯರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಚ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ, ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆದರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಪಸರಿಸಿತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಅವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲ ಯಜ್ಞ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪೂಜಾರಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದನೇ ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಸೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನ, ಅದು ಭಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಕಂಡುಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ವೆನ್ ನ್ಯೂ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸಬ್ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನ್ಯೂ religions also appeared. Okay, merchants and the migrants first brought the teachings of a holy Quran to India in a 7th century. So the merchants and the migrants, so some of the people who came from the other countries, that is the merchants and the migrants, they brought the holy Quran to in a 7th century. Muslims regard the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of the one God. So what happened, ee time alli religions ella start aagta bantu. So religions has been developed. Okay, so merchants and the migrants, they bought the holy Quran, and Muslim regarded that holy Quran as their God, and all they started to pray that one God, Allah, that is Quran. Okay, Muslim regard the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of one God, Allah, whose love, mercy and bounty embrace all those who believe in Him without regard of a social background. So what they have thought? Muslims, all of they have thought that without regard of the social background, they started to believe in one God, that is Allah, and they started to worship the Quran, which was brought by the merchants and the migrants in a 7th century to India. So this is how the religion started to grow. Many rulers were patrons of Islam and the ulama, learned theologians and jurists. So many rulers, they learned about the theologians and the jurists. Okay. And like Hinduism, Islam was interpreted in a variety of ways by its followers. There were a Shia Muslim who believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of a Muslim community, and the Sunni Muslim who accepted the authority of the early leaders, caliphs of the community, and the succeeding caliphs. There were other important differences between the various schools of law, that is Hanfi and the Shafi, and in theology and the mystic tradition. So what happened in slowly at that period, religions also started, and some of the merchants and the migrants, they brought a Quran to India. So Muslim people, despite the social background, they started to worship a same God, that is one God, that is Allah, and they believed He will protect them all. In that Muslim, there were two types, Shia Muslim and the Sunni Muslim. So the Shia Muslims, what they believe? They believe that Muhammad's son-in-law, that is legitimately Muhammad's son-in-law, he was the legitimate leader. So they believed Muhammad's son-in-law was the main leader. And another one Muslim, that is the Sunni Muslim, they believed caliphs are a great leaders. So there were divisions in a Muslim, that is the Shia and the Sunni Muslim. Next, thinking about the time and the historical periods. Historians do not see time just as a passing hours. So historians will not see time as a passing hours. Okay, before telling this, let me tell the previous one in Kannada. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರುವಾಯಿತು, ಭಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ನ್ಯೂ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನ್ಯೂ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು, ಎಂಪೈರ್ಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಆಯಿತು ರೂಲರ್ಸ್ದು, ಮತ್ತು ಭಕ್ತಿ ಬಂತು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ರಿಲಿಜನ್, ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯಿತು. ಈ ಹೊಸ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಗ್ರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಟ್ರೇಡರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕುರಾನನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದರು. ಆವಾಗ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸೋಷಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಒಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಾನ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್, ಶಿಯಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸುನ್ನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಶಿಯಾದವರು ಒಬ್ಬ ಎಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ನ ಲೀಡರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಸುನ್ನಿಯವರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಖಲೀಫಾಸ್ನ ಎಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಟೂ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, thinking about the time and the historical periods. So the historians will not see time as a passing hours, days or a years, as a clock or a calendar. Time also reflect changes in a social and the economical organization, in the persistence and the transformation of ideas and the beliefs. The study of time is made somewhat easier by the dividing the past into large segments, periods that possess shared characteristics. So the historians, they believe that time has brought so many changes in so many transformation in social as a cultural life. They didn't believe simply time as a passing hours, days or years. They believe that time will bring a changes. Okay. So in order for to convenience, they divided the time into some parts with the same characters. In the middle of the 19th century, British historians divided the history of India into 3 periods. So the middle of the 19th century, British historians divided the history into 3 periods: Hindu, Muslim and the British. So at that time, 19th century, British historians, they divided history of India into 3 periods, that is the British, Muslim and the Hindu. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 19th century ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಟೈಮಿನ ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡು, ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದೂದು ಮತ್ತು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದಿಸ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ಐಡಿಯಾ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಲರ್ಸ್ was the only important historical change and that there were no other significant developments in the economy, society or a culture. Such a division also ignored the rich diversity of a subcontinent. So they divided depending upon the idea of the ruler, depending upon the rulers, they divided this history. They didn't consider the society as or a geography of India. Few historians follow this periodization today. Most look to economic and the social factor to characterize the major elements of different moments of a past. So till now some of the historians believe in that classification. Okay, that is the history was divided into Hindu, Muslim and British based on the rulers. The historians you read last year included the wide range of early societies, hunter, gatherers, early farmers, people living in towns and the villages, and early empires and the kingdoms. The histories you will be studying this year are often described as a medieval. You will find out more about the spread of peasant societies, the rise of a regional and the imperial state formulations, sometimes at the cost of pastoral and the forest people, the development of Hinduism and the Islam as a major religion, and the arrival of the European trading companies. So last year you have read about the traders or the forest dwellers, like that we have read, but now in this year you are going to read about the medieval history, that is about the European traders emergence and also about the major religions development, and that is Hinduism and the Islamism, like that, and also developments like that you will read now in this year. These 1000 years of Indian history witnessed considerable changes. After all, the 16th century and the 18th centuries were quite different from the 8th or 11th century. Therefore, describing the entire period on one historical unit is not without its problems. Moreover, the medieval period is often contrasted with the modern period. Modernity carries with it sense of material progress and the intellectual advancement. This seems to suggest that the medieval period was lacking in any change whatsoever. But of course, we know this was not the case. During these 1000 years of societies, the subcontinent were transferred often, and economies in several regions reached a level of prosperity that attracted the interest of European trading companies. As you read this book, look out the signs of a change of historical processes at work. Also, whenever you can compare what you read in this book with what you read last year, look out for the changes and the continuous wherever you can, and look at the world around you, see that what else has changed or remained the same. So what they are telling, from last year to this year we are going to study different topics. There you have seen the basic, that is the early history, and here in this year we are going to study about the medieval history. Here you can see some developments about the European traders invading. As our subcontinent prospered, it took the attraction of European people, so they came to invade India. How that has happened, that we'll see, and like this different kind of topics we are going to see, and emergence of Hinduism and the Islamism, that is also we are going to see in this period. Okay, so with this we are going to conclude. Okay, before this ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋಂಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ 1000 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ 1000 ಇಯರ್ಸಿಂದ ಏನೇನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. 1000 ಇಯರ್ಸಿಂದ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮನುಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು 700 to 1750 ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ನ ನಾವು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲ್, ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಕರಿಬೋದು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಬಂದವು, ಅದು ಮತ್ತು ಮೊಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಯಿತು, ರಿಲಿಜನ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾತಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಜಾತಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಥರ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು 1000 ಇಯರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವಿವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಜಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ changes. Okay, then thank you.